What shall I have?
Hey, you.
Huh? Me?
Yeah, you. Where are they?
Where's what?
This is a major video game release by a major publisher, and I want to know, where are the gambling boxes?
Gambling boxes?
There's always gambling boxes in these games.
There are none in this game.
What?
Yeah, we just focus on the story.
Microtransactions. There's always a bullshit currency to fleece people out of extra cash.
Again, none in the game.
Season pass.
Nope.
20 special editions.
There's 3.
Seriously?
Well, 4 if you include the collector's box, but yeah.
There's gotta be something wrong with this game.
Nope. Just exceptional attention to detail. Facial hair that grows. Horse testicles that shrink in the cold. Customizable weapons.
What?
Customizable weapons.
Before that.
Facial hair that grows.
After that.
Horse testicles that shrink in the cold.
That's the one. What?
That was just a goof. It didn't really take any time at all.
Sounds like you have way too much time in that office. Alright. I'm watching you.
This is Red Dead Redemption 2, and that guy is weirdly obsessed. Alright. Barkeep, can I get one of your house beers and one of those really curly straws? Yeah, I know, I didn't think of that when I made the mask.
Firstly, I want to say a personal thank you to Rockstar Games for making me check the size of horse testicles in this game. Really appreciated that. By the way, save your energy, you can't tell. If I was to describe this game in 2 words, those words would be huge and slow. Now, most of the time, that's to the game's credit. Sometimes it's to the game's detriment though, and I'll get onto that later. The basics of the story is that you start a member of the gang run by Dutch Vanderlyn, and you play the character of Arthur Morgan, and you're pursued by the authorities from Blackwater, where a recent job went bad, the city of Blackwater, and you're pursued over the snowy mountains, which is where the game proper picks up, trying to survive in the cold. And even though visibility is minimal in this environment, even then you can tell that the graphics are fantastic.
So, do you think it was a trap in Blackwater?
That many men? Oh, they knew we were coming. But there was money on that boat, all right. Lots of it.
The story I won't talk about, because spoilers. I hate spoilers, I won't do that to anybody else. But really, that is the only reason to turn up to this game. Fortunately, the story is fantastic from start to finish. Keeps you hooked, there are twists and turns along the way. You never feel like you're going to be shortchanged in this game.
We got a problem. What? I just met some guys out near the river. A fella named, Milton, and, I don't remember the other fella's name. Ross. Milton and Ross. And they are employees of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. And they know about the train, and they know we're here.
Were you followed back here?
No, they know we're near here.
The game looks gorgeous, it sounds gorgeous. It's not quite Horizon Zero Dawn gorgeous, but it's more like Far Cry 5 gorgeous. It's still a damn good looking game. If the facial animations were a teensy bit better, it would be at Horizon Zero Dawn's level. It's not far off. You probably won't notice the difference though.
Check. Forgive me, it's all I can afford.
Sure you can afford all that? Careful, money bags.
I'm a call.
Here, let me catch your eye.
I'll see it.
Oh, you can just taste it.
There you go.
Huh. Well, fair enough.
Come on.
The combat is excellent in this game. Anyone who's played Red Dead Redemption 1 will know exactly what to expect. It feels exactly the same. That's a good thing, by the way, because it is good. It's got the familiar aiming system as well as auto-aim, which I kept turned on at all times because I was useless at manual aim. And then, of course, there's the familiar Deadeye system, which allows you to paint multiple targets and then take them out automatically all at the same time.
Look out! I'm coming from the right! Really need some fire over here! Two, three,
Fair warning though, the combat can get seriously crazy at times. This game is designed to be a cover-based shooter. You stand out in the open, you're gonna get shot to pieces in an instant.
Dynamite, Arthur.
Charles! Here they come!
Damn ears, get no back. Only way is you leaving here with his pace.
Move in on them! Let's get in there! Okay, Arthur? You were wrong about these crazy sons of bitches!
As I said, the main reason you come to this game is really the story. And besides the fact that it takes you on an enjoyable romp, it's the way it does it. It has you build relationships with the characters in the camp, in the gang. You feel like you're part of the gang. You feel like every person there has their own personality, their own little quirks. And the game is exceptionally good. Exceptional at taking you through the high points.
Oh, I'm a wild free rover. I sing a merry song. The wide, wide world I wander over. With a light, light heart I rove along. With a light, light heart I rove along. The wind roves free o'er hill and river, and the clouds roam free along the sky. Each little bird's a wild free rover, and a rover wild and free am I. Oh, I'm a wild free rover, I sing a merry song. The wide, wide world I wander over. With a light, light heart I rove along. With a light, light heart I rove along.
And the low points.
We were stranded at sea for 50 days. And you unfortunately survived. When we ran away from Blackwater, I wasn't able to get supplies in. Well, when government agents are hunting you down, sometimes shopping trips need to be cut short. We'll survive. We always have. If needs be, we can eat you. You're the fattest.
In the first game, your horse was really just a means of transportation. Take you from A to B, that's it. In this game, though, Your horse is your trusted companion above anything else. And there are several reasons for that. He carries your extra weapons, your extra outfits. He obviously gets you from A to B. And the more you ride round with the horse, the more you wipe the dirt off of it, the more you feed it, you build a bond with the horse. And as the bonding level increases, its stats increase as well. It's well worth investing time with the same horse. By the way, always carry Horse Reviver. Always. And I wouldn't be doing my job as a video game reviewer properly if I didn't point out the game's problems. It definitely has them. For me, if a survival game has any more than 3 gauges, I start to think that they're overdoing it a bit. It starts to get complicated to manage everything. And for some reason, this game has quite a few of them. It's an action-adventure game, but it has a lot of survival gauges in it for some reason. You've got your health, your stamina, and your deadeye. Your health core, your stamina core, your deadeye core, your horse's health, your horse's health core, your horse's stamina core, your personal cache, the camp's food supply, the camp's medical supply, the camp's ammunition supply. Do you think that's enough?
Good morning, Arthur.
There are quite a few other issues with this game, and for some bloody-minded reason, the developer decided to put all of them inside of the same activity, or at least most of them, the vast majority. Hunting. For some reason, hunting is a pain in the arse. Let me give you a for instance. You're riding along, you spy an animal, okay? So you have to look at it and focus on its tracks. You can activate a special mode to track it. And then you track it back to where it is, okay? You sneak up on it. Now at this point, you use your binoculars to look at the animal and find out whether it's pristine, good, or poor. Now this matters because if you're crafting stuff, you need a perfect pelt, which only comes off the pristine animals. You can sell the good and poor ones, but you can't use them for crafting. So, to get a pristine pelt, you need a pristine animal. So that's assuming you've found one that's pristine. So if you have, you then scan it with your binoculars to see which weapon you have to use to preserve its pelt. Because using the wrong weapon damages the pelt. So you can't use it as a perfect one. So you analyse it, and you find out that you need a certain weapon. It's at this point you realise that you haven't got the weapon because you can only carry 1 sidearm, 2 after a while, and 2 long-barreled weapons. So the chances of you having the correct weapon is So you have to go back to your horse. It's at this point you realise that you've tracked the animal so far away, you can't whistle for the horse. Because the horse can only be summoned from a certain distance. That distance increases if you've increased the bond with the horse. But if you're too far away, you're screwed. So you've got to go back to the horse, whistle for it when it's in range, come up to it, switch weapons, and then you have to go back to where you spotted the animal. It's at this point that you discover 9 times out of 10 the animal's fucked off. So, assuming that you've found a pristine animal, you have the correct weapon, you have to make a one-shot kill, otherwise you damage the pelt, because this isn't hard enough. And you take a one-shot kill. For bigger animals it's a headshot, smaller animals wherever. And you finally get your perfect pelt. The horse has limited carrying capacity. You can carry one large pelt or a medium carcass on its back. You can drape some medium pelts across its back end. 2 birds off of either side. 1 bird off of either side, sorry. 2 birds total. And then you've got a long ass trip all the way back either to camp or the trapper, depending on who you want to make something with the pelts from. Even if you're lucky enough to find a pristine animal, you happen to have the right weapon and you make a one-shot kill and you go straight back to the trapper, for example, it can take 20 sodding minutes. 20 minutes! Again, bearing in mind the horse can't carry much.
Let's go, girl. Easy now.
Do you want to know the easiest animal to hunt in the game? Alligators. Yeah, alligators. They don't do anything. They just sit there and let you shoot them. Rifle. You could say that most games are repetitive for one reason or another. This game doesn't feel repetitive, by the way, but you do the same things over and over again, but it's the clever ways it keeps you engaged that the game doesn't feel repetitive.
You care to... I'm with child, and it's... I don't want to go back to the workhouse. Get your goddamn hands up!
Go.
This is a goddamn robbery!
Nobody move!
Get word up! Nobody move!
Don't make us hurt you! Here! Unlock the door!
That's another one cleared. This is looking good.
How much longer?
Nearly there.
Okay, you reckon that's enough now?
Maybe. It's never enough.
Well, I am ready to get the hell out of here whenever you are.
Last one.
Good. We gotta move.
But if, for some weird-ass reason, you do find yourself finding the game a bit repetitive, switch to first-person view.
Everybody take cover! O'Driscoll boys are coming! Everyone accounted for?
I think.
Hey! I said, is everyone accounted for?
I don't know. I think.
There must be desperate camping here.
Damn, Kieran. Should never take that O'Driscoll in.
And there are none of those predatory microtransactions or loot boxes. There's not even any DLC. I mean, there is a pre-order bonus. Something to do with a survival kit and the war horse. I don't have either of those. I certainly didn't feel like I missed anything.
Go to the next. Let's see whose luck is in.
Pass me. Pass.
Nothing pass. Yes.
You're very welcome. Jeez.
If you focus on the story campaign, you'll think it's awesome. From start to finish, you'll have no problems with it. It's when you veer off the story and start to do your own thing, like hunting, is when you start to feel that the slow nature of the game starts to get in your way. Those horse rides that you go on the missions, they're long rides, but you talk with the characters who are with you. You're very rarely on your own.
I think we're good here, Arthur. Ah, shoot. All right, I'll grab a sack.
I'm going to give Red Dead Redemption 2 an 8 out of 10. It would feel almost criminal to give it any less than that. But I can't really give it any more than that, and I would have done if it wasn't for all the survival gauges. Even though it's not hard to manage them, it still feels overly complicated and distracts from the story. And then there's the inventory that you have. You can only carry 2 long-barreled weapons, 2 short weapons. Your horse carries everything else. And you can't get to your horse, you can't whistle for it if it's not close enough. It's just... If it didn't have those issues, which fortunately all converge in hunting, so don't hunt. If it didn't have those, I would have rated it higher. But it is definitely a solid 8 out of 10. You take those issues away, it would probably be like a 9, maybe borderline 10 for me. And I'm just really glad that I played this, because the story is genuinely riveting. It's the reason to turn up to this game. It's a prequel to the original, so John Marston is here, so you'll recognise him and figure out why he left the gang. So it's great seeing the whole group all together, them all round the campfire singing songs and doing all that kind of thing, and then having their fights and spats as well. Yeah, the story and the characters, that's where it's at in this game, and I thoroughly recommend it if you like, well, obviously cowboy games, but also action adventure games in general. Right, that's it for my review of Red Dead Redemption 2. 8 out of 10, great game, can definitely recommend it, even if you're not one for cowboy games. Don't miss this one out. So, what did you think of my review? Leave a like or dislike down below. What did you think of the game? Let me know in the comments. You've probably already beaten it before I even put this video out, let's be honest. Everyone seems to like this game, and no bad thing. And if you can't get enough of my voice for some reason, feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe is what I meant to say. Feel free to comment as well. And if you want to inflict my review on anybody else, you can share as well. See you next time. Oops, shit. Whoops. You play the character of Arthur Morgan, one of his trusted characters. You know what? I was doing so well. I'll start that again. Huh? Me? Shit, I left my glasses on. I didn't notice.